Could you join us, Sir Ronald?
Hi.
Sir Ronald,
How
we
are
are.
you? Salamat.
Thank you so much. Can we
I like your
squeeze in a
pose.
little bit more?
Sit down.
Thank you so much, Sir Ronald, for making time. So we had the legal luminary.
Yes.
I hope I'm not litigating to. So iniisa-isa ko, bakit 6 years? Bakit walang re-election? Bakit like lahat tinatanong, bakit bakit walang runoff election, right? So I'm going through all of that. Bakit 48 kayo? Bakit presidential? So sir, just for a recap, I went through all of that because I want to talk about charter change today. Because marami nagsasabi, baka naman that's the only way because the system is so broken, right? So just to give you some time to have your coffee, maybe you want to sip your coffee.
I'll do that.
Sir Ronald, have you asked also these questions? Kasi kami, I was thinking, if Pinoy only had re-election time, if Ramos had a re-election time, you would have avoided Digong and Erap, and maybe our history would have totally different.
I am for a constitution, as the justice knows, should be a living document. No, it's not dead. It's always have to be reviewed, improved, but you need the preconditions for that. No, like in principle, I am for a federal system.
You're for federal?
But if you federate without the necessary minimum reforms, then you are just federating warlordism. You will just be federating concentration of power in the hands of a few on the local level. You will just be federating poverty. So you need minimum political and economic reforms so that federalism will be much real. Like parliamentary system for me is more superior than a presidential system. But in a parliamentary system, you need real political parties. Without real political parties, then it's just a form of parliamentarism, but in shape, it's still the old system. So it's about changes, minimum requisites before you change the constitution. Like education is very basic.
Which you mentioned in your book very much, the Rizalian idea. You have to prepare the population.
Even congressmen don't read the Constitution. Perhaps even senators. So
perhaps the president.
so you have to popularize what you are changing and the proposals to change that. Usually, the timing should be in the first half of a president's term. Usually, in the last half, it's tainted with suspicion that you just want term extension, that you just want to change the system for vested interests.
To protect yourself.
Yes. So if you start it early, then you have time to present, to educate, to do the minimum reforms necessary for changes in the Constitution. They always use the excuse of economic changes.
It doesn't work.
But
it doesn't work.
What is real is the political changes.
Right. I'll go back to you, Justice, about this. No. So one of the other things I raised is yung dynasties. Why wasn't there an automatic law on dynasties? And what Justice was saying kanina is we didn't want to impose restrictions on if this is the choice of the people. If type nila mga Binay, type nila na nga, then so be it. And I felt, in retrospect, maybe it was a bit naive that they would not cannibalize the system, including the party list system. I didn't know pala, Sir Ronald, that thanks to Justice, that the party list idea was by your percentage you get seats. So if Akbayan got 7%, they should have had 7 seats. But your folks at the Supreme Court put that cap of 3, so that killed the party building dynamic. Did you know that? I didn't know that.
Yeah, because
hindi ko alam yun.
Yeah, I think we're the only party list system, proportional representation in the world.
Proportional representation.
Which has
a cap.
Which has a cap.
Yeah, weird.
Maximum cap. Usually in other countries, it's a minimum cap. The cap is minimum, not maximum.
Not maximum.
Interesting.
I haven't
5%.
Seen,
you have to get 5%.
So that was a bad decision. I'm sorry. That was
I haven't seen a party list system.
That's what I'm saying.
Which it's a different cap.
Obviously, biased kami ni Sir Ronald because for us, Akbayan comes closest to a real modern party. Let's call it social democratic. But kung cap ka lang at 3, what are your options, right? And ang hirap, di ba? So they got 7.5%. They should have got 7, 8 seats in the Congress now, not 3 only, di ba? Justice, I want to go back to you. Kanina you said, one of the things, because you were part of also the previous constitution, right?
Yes.
One of the things that is unique with the 1997 constitution, I would say, is this level of protectionism by a lot of your fellow framers na huwag niyong galawin yan, sacred yan. Now, that may explain why this is the most unperturbed constitutional document, at least in our history, and one of the most unperturbed. Kasi walang amendments eh. Right? I mean, the U.S. Constitution went through so many amendments throughout the decades. Ours, even amendment, some of your colleagues get picked and triggered. Oh, no, this is a Trojan horse. Is gonna. What is your thinking of this from your experience of being part of two different constitutions? Is amendment perhaps a way forward? Are you even open to the idea of constitutional change, a new charter change, CON-AS? Because I think you're a perfect person because you've been part of two constitutional promulgations. So I want to ask, should we have a third or should we have at least an amendment? And where?
I think the amendment process has proved to be a difficult hurdle for Congress because they could not agree on the method of amending the Constitution. Actually, it's very easy. Just get the 3/4 of all the members of the House, 3/4 of the Senate. And the House wants 3/4 of the entire. So the Senate will be swallowed.
Yeah, they're not going to allow that. Yeah.
Yes.
And that's crazy.
That's crazy,
They should
yeah.
vote separately. Of course, it should be separately, even bicameral system.
Right.
And so that's the reason, because the House wants to dominate the procedure.
By quantitative,
Yeah, that's,
sheer quantity.
Or if it is a constitutional convention, they don't have to vote separately.
Yeah.
You go direct. If it's a constitutional convention, what is being proposed by
Right, let's talk about that. The CON-AS and
Congressman
CON-CON.
Ronnie,
let's go for that.
Ronnie Puno.
Yeah.
The problem is because of what happened during the first year of BBM, the People's Initiative, then all other initiatives are now tainted.
Not tainted. Yeah.
That's the problem, no?
Baka naman that was an
And they
inside
even
job.
made the head of the People's Initiative, the head of the People's Initiative during Gloria Macapagal Arroyo's time. So the more it became tainted. So,
Yeah.
and now it's practically in the last 2 years of the term, and there's a lot of issues.
Right.
From flood control to so impeachment, etc. So it's not an ideal time. No? As I said, I am for that. I am for that.
Oh, so okay, so when is the ideal
Yeah.
time? Because my problem right now is we're having a very interesting situation. When Digong was pushing for charter change, immediately alarm bells were set off. That this is a Trojan horse. I mean, this is a guy who was flirting with RevGov right and left, right? So I completely agree with your fellow framers. Huwag mahawakan yan, lalo pag kay Digong. Baka kung anong mangyari. But now, people are losing so much. Let's be honest, Sir Ronald, last year pa natin, we have been warning about constitutional crisis. And I think, to be honest, things are even worse than we thought. I don't want to say more, baka makontempt ako, but you get what like every branch of the state is not inspiring confidence nowadays. Tapos meron ka pang Torres situation na nadagdag pa sa drama. So suddenly, a lot of people who were very skeptical of charter change, including yours truly, I am on the record, pwede mo pa chat GPT yan, I'm saying like, baka naman it's the system is so broken, we need at the very least some serious amendments, if not a constitutional convention maybe. Because CON-AS, medyo I'm not
the
comfortable
problem with
that.
opening the Pandora's box of charter change is that anything can happen.
But is it a Pandora's box? Why
It-
not
it
just put scotch tapes over the box?
It is because of the balance of forces. No? If the forces, the progressive forces, are dominant, then well and good. But if the reactionary conservative forces are the dominant in the landscape, then they will dominate whatever charter change will happen. As Justice was saying, that their idea is that for Congress eventually to decide on the dynasty provision. The problem at that time, there was a weak transition from dictatorship to democracy. Imagine there were 11 coup d'etat in 2 years, 87 to 89. So a lot of the Marcos dynasties who just shifted sides were accepted by the Aquino administration because they were fighting for survival. So the weaknesses of the transition helped create the long-term problems of the opening up of the 87 Constitution.
But that raises a question that there's a possibility that this is very Rosa Luxemburg, right? Like the time will never come if you wait for the right time. Because as things stand, I just don't see a situation whereby the progressives will have an upper hand anytime soon.
Well, the midterm shows that that modern forces, especially coming from the youth, can suddenly emerge. No, subjective forces with the right strategy can emerge because you don't nauuna yung kalesa sa kabayo, di ba? You need a movement which will push for these changes, whether it's charter change or within the present charter.
But can the charter change trigger the movement, a sense of urgency? Because, again, Justice, I and Ronald, since 2022, although we were not friends yet in 2022, until he came to me and invited himself to my show, next thing you know, he's taking over.
We're more like enemies.
So, thanks to you, we're very respectable now. And my mom watching us over the horizon. No, the thing is, our concern is everything was there. The pink movement, the excitement, etc. It's almost 2026, Sir Ronald. Who is the leader of the opposition? You know what I'm saying? Like, maybe now I'm the pessimist, right? So then I'm beginning to be very worried. And my worry is, baka the right time will never come unless you create a sense of crisis. You trigger a sense of urgency, right? And maybe kicking off a constitutional change process by the trapos will activate the good guys. So it's a chicken or egg rather than the horse before the cart issue for me.
Well, that's a good gamble, but I doubt it will happen. No,
but yours is a gamble too. Your gamble is let's win first. So yours is sequential, right? Let's win first. Let's get the right people in, and then they go for it. But what if that doesn't happen? Which is not very likely, maybe, you know? Like,
yeah, if that doesn't happen, then
so you will be for charter change if Sara is the next president.
We're because for now, those who will push for charter change are the corrupt people of the present system, even the most corrupt. No?
But they're not going away, right?
Yeah.
Like they'll still win in 2028.
So you don't even have reformists in that group. No? So if you change the system, those who will decide about the changes will be a small will be the vast majority who are involved in the ills of the system you are trying to change. You want to change the system so that the ills will be mitigated. But the ones who will change the system now, if you do it now, will be the same guilty persons responsible for those ills.
So, Justice, before I go to you, because I want to take... So the difference between I and Ronald is that we're both pessimists, but in different ways. His pessimism is that if you leave it to people now, it's going to go bad. My pessimism is if you wait for the next administration, it's going to get even worse. So, like, you want to cut a semi-compromised deal now rather than wait
for me, the trigger is that the Dutertes may win in 2028.
But isn't it too late by then? But it's too late. My sense is too late.
Just last week, the Pinks met twice to fix their dynamics.
Lenny, Risa.
This week, there are lines being drawn, no?
Sure.
For a united front. So, the compelling reason for 2028 is now happening. But it's happening underground, under wraps. So nobody's talking about it publicly. No?
Yeah, I mean, who am I, right? I don't know.
So for now, the trigger is 2028. That if we don't build a broad anti-Duterte front, then the Dutertes will come and there will be hell to pay. No?
I don't think there'll be a democracy. I think they'll not give up. So just, I want to go back to you. So it's interesting. Now Ronald is more optimistic than me because I'm Torre kasi. After the Torre thing, I gave up on the system.
With the Torre issue, things are
getting wild.
Are not what they appear to be.
Well, I know there are layers, Sir Ronald, but my point is, but it makes things worse.
Yeah, of course.
It makes things worse. I'm talking about the effect.
Yeah, the handling, the optics was terrible.
Exactly.
No?
Everything's bad. Justice, sorry about that, yung banter namin. But you see where I'm coming from. Like he's the political operator, right? And I'm the pretentious scholar, right? But you're the jurist. From your perspective, Justice, what is the right condition to even contemplate amendment, considering how dominated our system has been for the past 100 years by political dynasties, right? I mean, to be honest. It's just, I mean, during even your principal's time, Aquino, 80% of Congress were trapos.
Yes, but not dynasties. Unlike now.
But it was not ideal. It was not.
Yeah.
So, Justice, I want to get your point of view.
There's an alternative. We
Go
can
ahead.
throw it to the people. Congress can ask the people, should we call a constitutional convention? Just a majority vote needed. Let the people decide. Don't call right away.
So any plebiscite?
Yeah, something like a plebiscite.
Can the Congress do it without the Senate? I'm sorry, it has to be both, right?
Yeah,
Like, how is the
majority
what is the
vote.
mechanism?
It's a proposal. It's a bill. It's
It's a bill.
Similar to a
It's
bill.
just a bill. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So a bill like, okay, let's ask the people. Hindi hintayin sila Ranjit or Pulse Asia to give us surveys, right?
Just here.
Interesting. Okay, that's one way of doing it. Why not let's leave it to the people?
But of course, in the real world, people will be either for it or against it.
Or will be incentivized in a certain direction. Yeah.
Not everybody will be for it. Not everybody will be against it.
My sense is like 40-30-30 split.
Yeah.
What is the,
It's not a bill.
It's
It
not
doesn't have to be signed by the president.
okay.
It's a constituent power.
Congress
so
may.
it's an executive
See,
power.
I told you. That's why I love being with the justice.
Congress may, by a vote of majority vote of all its members, submit to the electorate the question of calling such a convention.
Oh.
That's in the amendment.
So what form will it take, Justice?
Yun nga eh.
In the Congress. What form? Is it a resolution?
Is it a
Resolution.
bill?
Yeah,
it's a
Resolution lang.
Yeah.
that will be put
Interesting.
on the ballot by COMELEC.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's
So
it.
it's a
I have an
resolution.
opening. I will agitate people. Let's do
Yeah,
it.
that's it.
Okay. But Sir Ronald is very suspicious. Because what if you have a 40-30-30 split? So kanila, like kagabi lang, obviously this is not a scientific survey, but most of my followers are progressive and pinks. I said, are you for it, against it, or unsure? Meaning, so it's like 40-30-30. 44, 30 against, 30 undecided, unsure. What if you get a 40-30-30?
Plurality.
Plurality wins. Hindi kailangan majority.
Plurality.
Oh, wow. Worse than Brexit. It's like just who gets the biggest share carries the
Then,
day.
If it wins, what will happen afterwards, Justice?
Yeah, what is the next step?
They have to call.
Yeah?
They have to call.
Interesting. Very interesting. Wow, so there's also that angle. Again, I didn't know that, Sir Ron.
So it's like a people's initiative?
Yes,
Yeah.
in
Like
a way,
people's
yeah.
initiative in a way.
Also, we're back to...
Referendum.
Yeah. Because it's going to be a referendum or a plebiscite.
Yeah. And then what's that? After that, we'll decide if it's a con or con-as to draft the constitution. Paano yan, Justice?
This is a resolution.
No, like, okay, now let's say majority said or plurality said go. What's the next step? You form a
They have
convention.
to pass a law.
Then you have to debate over
A
that.
law convening a convention. Yeah.
And you're for convention rather than assembly.
Yes.
Con-as, yeah.
Yes.
Because that was like problematic.
Yes.
So, for the purpose of education of our audience, anong pagkakaiba yung dalawa? Aside from the fact na yung isa, monopoly pa rin ng mga trapo, so you don't expect them to vote. So, how does the convention work? Are you elected to that? Like you guys back in 1971?
Elected.
So kami ni Ronald, pwede tumakbo?
You are elected per district. So, ang mangyayari dyan, parang dahil walang pork barrel yan, at maikli lang yung term yan, hindi yan 3 years.
Only good people will run.
So, karamihan ng mga tatakbo dyan, hopefully,
Good
ay hindi
people.
yung mga dynasties, hindi yung mga trapo.
Kasi walang pera.
Dahil nga, ang pag-uusapan dyan, debate talaga yan eh.
Yeah.
Halimbawa, nung Constitutional Convention noong 1971, dyan nag-shine sila Nelly Pimentel, sila Raul Rocco, etc. Because other modern elements can enter the field.
Yeah.
Dahil yung mga traditional politicians at saka dynasties, una, di nila linya yan. Ikalawa, walang pera dyan. No? Ikatlo ay may clear lang yung term. So, hopefully, other elements from civil society, from reform-oriented groups can enter the field, hopefully.
Right. Sir, you have to go soon, right?
No, it's okay.
You're okay. I'm just trying to manage time because what happened is Justice came so early. I thought he's gonna come 3:30.
Came late.
I was having and then you came late, so it kind of. But I love it. By the way, guys, I'm witnessing history here.
Yeah.
Maybe I agree a bit here more than there, but maybe
Always.
there's maybe you never know. You never know. But Justice, sorry, makulit talaga kami. I think that's what people like. But Sir Ronald is more respectable than usual. Okay, but. Speaking of the situation right now, this explosion of corruption. So I was talking to Justice Carpio the other day. We were comparing this to PDAF. This is like PDAF on steroids. 10 times, 100 times, 1,000.
It's much worse.
Right, on steroids. It's like Napoles times 100, right?
Yeah.
So mukhang lumalala over time.
We met the president last night sa wake ng mother ni Mar Rojas. No?
Right.
A lot of people were there, mixed political tendencies. So people were asking the president, where will you bring this?
Yeah.
No? Are you willing to
Go all the way.
charge and put in prison even allies? He said categorically yes. So because if nothing happens in the next 1 to 2 months, then it might explode in his
On
face.
him, yeah.
But last night he said he was determined to really bring.
And that's
it to
off the
its-
record, right? You're just talking to him like you're just talking to him like normal.
Bring it to its logical conclusion. So whether it will happen is another thing. But I think.
But he has to. He has no choice, right? He has to go all the way.
Yeah.
Ikaw, Justice, as you know, you were in the Supreme Court. Well, I mean, Arroyo, Tita, we were related, and then like many things have been going on, like a lot of crazy corruption stuff.
Yes.
And my fear is this moral lamentations, this anger, outrage might undermine faith in the constitutional order altogether. I mean, Duterte's rise to power was partly out of anti-system sentiment, right? So we can see how democratically we can elect anti-democratic people. And my fear is, kasi ngayon, Sir Ronald, nung PDAF time nyo, kami mga matatandang millennials. Ngayon, I see the Gen Z is very angry.
Yeah.
This Gen Z is very angry. Like, now all the pictures of this, yung mga anak ng mga contractors with all this $1 million, million pesos.
Yeah.
And then these people are, and the ordinary kids cannot even afford the rent every month.
Yeah,
It's so outrageous. It's so outrageous. So, Justice, like, how do you feel about this corruption really getting out of control? May kinalaman ba ito sa kakulangan sa Constitution? Or what can we do constitutionally to deal with that?
Well, I think the people really are the ones we have to look to solve this. That's why I am proposing a people's writ called quitam, where right now you cannot sue public officials. Citizens cannot sue a public official. Only the fiscals and prosecutors, and if they don't sue, then they cannot be sued. But in quitam, the citizen can sue a public official.
Interesting.
Just give the prosecutors 60-day notice through a sealed. You have a sealed letter containing the evidence.
Interesting.
And if they don't act on it, 60 days, the private citizen can file the case. That's called quitam, citizen suit. And with the movement now, you can see that citizens are outraged.
Right.
Give them the power to...
Pwede ma-class suit versus one single contractor or something like that? Pwede ba yan?
Then, single. Against,
Single lang pwede.
against
Okay.
an individual.
So hindi pwede like parang all the victims in one barangay of one horrible contractor, congressman, ganon. It could be just one person. So like I and Ronald can file a case
Yung
against...
complainant can be a whole barangay. Yeah.
Pwede, di ba? Pwede magsama.
Can be anyone.
Yung flood control.
Could
Or
be
a
a group.
movement.
It could be a group, individual, organization.
Interesting.
It could be,
Yeah.
So that's one way. What about this idea of independent people's commission that Tito Soto is talking about? Do you think that makes sense? Or should it have real mandate? Can it even have a real mandate?
coming from civil society,
Yeah.
former government officials.
Pwede rin.
Yeah.
Like the Agrava Commission. Yeah.
Maybe that's the one way forward.
I think
Sir,
going back from the lessons of the past, because for decades, since the Ramos time up to the Arroyo time, pork barrel dominated the landscape, especially in Congress and in the Senate. During the time of Pinoy, it reached a climax with the arrest of a former Senate President,
Yeah.
Enrile, and 2 senators.
Right, right.
But it was done like a bibingka. There was heat on the top and there was heat below.
Pressure from
you have,
below,
You
yeah.
have 1 million people march
Yeah.
in Luneta at the time.
I was there, yeah.
And then you have the Department of Justice filing cases against a Senate President and 2 senators. That has never happened before. So it came from above. And eventually, the pork barrel was abolished. So you have a concrete output from this bibingka. I think now you have elements of that. You have the president himself leading the crusade. Na mahiya naman kayo, but the movement is still to be born. You have outrage, you have disenchantment, but as a movement like 1 million people's march, it's not yet there. That's what I'm talking about, the subjective force.
Exactly.
But it can be done easily because the outrage is rampant. No?
But it could go wild, and it could be weaponized. The Dutertes are weaponizing.
A revolutionary government can
Yeah.
weaponize that to bring down the system.
Yeah, coup d'etat,
and
something like
and
that,
create
yeah.
a Rev Gov. Or the Dutertes can use that going into 2028.
Exactly, yeah.
And the government is not very good in weaponizing these issues against their enemies.
Because there were thousands of flood control under Digong, 12,000 flood control
Yes,
projects. Yeah.
12,000 and almost 800 billion pesos worth. But
Yeah.
it's not being discussed. Pulong himself has 51 billion in his one
Yeah,
district.
yeah.
So the problem is the government is defensive because their communications, their narrative is not very strong. Imagine a government changing their communication head
Five
five
times.
times.
May not be the last. May not be the
Five
last, Your
times,
Honor.
no? And it may happen soon again. So that only shows the problem of the government in terms of communication. Like the Torre issue. This is a mismanagement of the highest order. No? You created the most popular leader in government, and then almost overnight you took him out without any spin regarding that. So that's what I'm saying. That it has to be like from the top and from the bottom. I think from the top there's some, and from the bottom there's some, but it has to be consummated to approximate what happened during the pork barrel in Aquino's time, where the pork barrel was totally banned and people were really arrested. No, even a former Senate president at that.
What are the lessons you learned from that time? Because eventually, Napoles is kind of in and out.
It was.
Jingo is now there in the Senate. Nakakadiri daw ang corruption. Sabi
Yeah,
niya.
but he was only released during the Duterte time. A bail. How can you put a bail on plunder? It's supposed to be non-bailable. But he was out on bail during the Duterte time. So what I'm saying is that it can be done. No? Napoles was arrested, but perhaps the debate is whether it should have proceeded to its maximum conclusion. Because if you did that, I think more senators would have been charged and put in prison. And then you may have a constitutional crisis. If majority of senators were imprisoned because of the pork barrel.
Which is what happened in Brazil, diba? The Operation Car Wash. What happened was that everyone was implicated, and then even the investigators later on were implicated in making up false charges against Lula, right?
Yeah,
And eventually Lula came back. Like Brazil is a
So
very dangerous
that was
case.
the problem during that time.
That's the
Because
problem.
pork barrel was so rampant.
Yeah,
A lot of people will be implicated, and then you will have a political crisis.
correct. So, just as this is the last part of our discussion, hopefully, before we transition to other issues, Ombudsman is coming up. There have been interviews already going on. Some people are saying maybe you want someone like Remulla, who's already trusted by the president, will have the support, assuming he'll end up in the last 3, yung shortlist. Some are saying Kim Henares, your colleague back in the day in BIR naman. So, there are other names that are
Mike
dropped.
Aguinaldo.
Exactly. So Heidi Mendoza, I had her on my show recommending someone else that she knows well. So I know maybe you don't want to name names, but how important is to get the right ombudsman, considering it looks like we didn't have the right ombudsman for a long time. Very long time. And anong pwede niyang gawin on this issue of corruption, itong grabing flood control and all of that? Yeah.
Well, it's very important because the ombudsman is the official who can prosecute
Corrupt.
these grafters.
Yeah.
And that it's very much in the people's mind now. So yes, it's a crucial appointment, and we'll see.
How long is usually the process of the JBC to choose, to finish this process? How
Yung
long?
final 3 to come up with the shortlist.
Yeah. The interview, and
Yeah,
then
yes.
they have rules,
Yes.
and then they submit at least 3 names
Yeah,
for
yeah.
every vacancy.
Yeah. Almost half are finished being interviewed.
Yeah, they're still interviewing.
Yeah.
Is it normal ganong katagal yung interregnum from kasi late July pa umalis si ano, 'di ba? Martires. Magtatapos ng September.
Will it
niya.
take 2-3 months?
Yeah, yun
4
nga.
months?
Like, is that normal, this kind of interregnum? 2 to 3 months na wala
Yeah,
ombudsman?
that's normal.
Yeah.
Ah, that's normal.
Yeah.
That's normal. Due diligence.
One
lang.
important
Sometimes-
issue, Justice, is the issue of Boying Remulla. There's a case filed against him in
Yes,
the Ombudsman.
By
That's a
IME?
problem.
By
Yeah.
IME people, yeah.
because under their own rules, if you have a case pending, you cannot be nominated.
Yes.
And the case is still there because the acting ombudsman did not want to dismiss it,
Yes.
Mariflor,
Yes, but you have a new acting ombudsman.
but it was changed. So maybe this new acting will dismiss.
Maybe that's the reason you have a new
Maybe
acting.
that's why they changed.
Yeah, that's very important, no? That's
Yeah.
very important.
Yeah.
Aside from the ombudsman, ano bang mga kailangan mangyari sa mga susunod na mga buwan? Kasi hindi naman pwede umasa lang tayo sa presidente, di ba? I mean, what should be done to deal with just the sheer scale of corruption we're talking about right now? Not
Okay.
just the top 15 contractors, everyone involved.
We should reverse our presumption laws. I was talking to a judge from the United Kingdom, and he said in the United Kingdom, once we prove that your assets are far more than your lawful income,
Right.
the excess is immediately sequestered. We don't have to prove that this is unlawfully acquired.
Yeah.
As long as it is within the excessive portion, any of your properties can be sequestered.
And go direct to the government.
Yeah. So that is not a
Oh, wow.
presumption. That is evidence. The
discrepancy.
The burden of proof has been shouldered by showing the disparity between assets and lawful income. After that, then the burden of the evidence shifts.
Yeah.
You can shift the burden of the evidence
Yeah.
on the defendant to prove that this particular property was lawfully acquired.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it will be sequestered.
Interesting.
You don't have to prove that it was unlawfully acquired.
So, ano yun, lifestyle check, AMLAC coming in, checking the bank accounts. How should this,
The
like,
ombudsman can open bank accounts.
can the president...
in the service of the SALN law. No, if they're investigating SALN, then they can request AMLA to opening the bank. That within the purview
Freeze.
of the ombudsman.
AMLA is just freeze. This one's sequestered.
Sequester talaga.
But do you need a law for that?
Yeah, you need a law. We have to amend our
We
anti-graft
have to
law.
amend the law.
Yeah, I have to amend the law.
Anong pangalan ng law nila
Presumption
sa UK, Justice? May pangalan ba yung batas nila yan? Is it called, I don't know, anong pangalan ng contractor? British accent siya, di ba?
So Justice, somebody has to propose a law.
I
No?
propose
in
the,
relation
ano,
to that. Yeah.
anong pangalan nila?
I think it's under
Sarah,
the
ano?
serious crimes law.
Diskaya. I call it the Diskaya law. Let's make it the Diskaya law. Because they have British accent. Did you watch Sarah Diskaya? She has a British accent.
Yeah.
I converse in a British accent. I call it the Diskaya law. Can we propose a Diskaya? Sequestered 40 cars, including the Rolls Royce with an umbrella and an Hermes leather.
The problem is the ones who will propose it and vote on it.
Yan lang.
Those who will be targeted for this
That's our problem.
sequestration.
That's why when the president said lifestyle check, everyone said maybe the first family first, right? Something like that, right? So that's our problem. Like, where do you start? Diba? It's so pervasive. Where do you start, and how do you make sure it doesn't get out of control? So, just as on the last point on this, no?
Just one point. On the,
yeah, please,
lifestyle,
sorry.
on the lifestyle check, you don't need a law. No? A new law. Because it's within the present the
Framework,
present
yeah.
system.
Yeah.
It's you have an anti-graft and corrupt practices law that will fall under that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So unlike the other proposal of justice, you need a law.
Yeah, the Diskaya law.
Yeah, you need somebody to propose it and then vote on it, and then both houses voting on it, and the president signing it.
Yeah.
So you have to go through that process. But in terms of lifestyle check, it can be implemented and it can be triangulated by different government agencies. LRA for the houses and the land, LTO for the cars, vehicles, etc. Bureau of Immigration for the travels, AMLA for the banks, at least to open the bank account, etc. So that you don't need a law to do that. No. And then you can file cases based on the results
Yeah.
of that.
So there's enough out there to make things count. So on final note, and this is important. Some were saying, I'm not saying Ronald Llamas na maybe the Supreme Court will come with a decision on the MR soon, whatever. Again, with all due respect with the Supreme Court and all, what are your expectations? What are your hopes? And what are your worries? And dapat what should be the way forward for the Philippine Supreme Court, considering it is an exceptional institution, right? Above the fray institution, non-majoritarian institution. Can we go back to that theme? Because that's what makes the Supreme Court very special, right? In a constitutional order.
Well, first, I think it should reconsider its decision, the impeachment case. At least, probably, if they don't want to change their vote, just say it's pro hoc vice, in view of the very exceptional factual situation involved. They can say that our decision here applies only to this exceptional case. For the future,
Right.
the court is free to adopt a different approach. And then to address this current situation of graft and corruption on steroids, to call a national summit to adopt remedies against all forms of corruption. In the same way that the Supreme Court called a national summit to address extra-legal killings in 2007, inviting all sectors in order to discuss appropriate remedies, including a possible quitam remedy.
Right, where
Putting
people can directly also file cases
that should
against
be
corrupt
adopted pursuant to a national summit.
Yeah.
So I think the Supreme Court will be able to redeem itself if it calls the summit to show that it's really against corruption.
And why is it important for the
accountability.
Supreme Court to really come really right on this one, given its non-majoritarian, non-elected nature compared to ibang branches? Yeah.
Precisely because it's non-majoritarian and it is the guardian of fundamental liberties of our people. So I think in that capacity, and also because as far as we know, they are not involved in this corruption thing.
Right.
So they are the best to be the prime movers of the search for the proper remedies to this great disaster that has befallen us.
So they will look like a disinterested party.
Yes,
Above the fray. Above the fray.
they are.
Thank you so much, Justice, for that. There was
Thank you,
just slight
Professor.
scramble. We're hoping to have you a bit later on, but at the moment you were there, I said we were not going to wait. So my apologies to our great, my former professor, Ranjit Rai, the other political scientist in the room. Thank you so much for that. Thank you also, Sir Ronald, for joining us. Let's have a group picture. On that note, thank you very much, guys, for joining us for this latest episode ng FYI. Kasama po natin si, of course, one of the framers of the Constitution. Kaya kanina talaga I went back to the basics. And of course, our resident illegal luminary. And of course, andyan sa likod, yung aking ex-professor na hoping still proud of me, the most amazing student in the world. Maraming salamat and talk to you soon. God bless.